Tonight's Fact or Fiction, we are looking into yet another claim that The Simpsons predicted the future, in this case the Astroworld Music Festival, which appears to show various Springfield residents next to a monument of musician Travis Scott.
What if a cartoon could see the future? The Simpsons has been eerily right about everything from viral outbreaks to election results, but its wildest predictions might still be coming.
It's me, Artie Ziff, in pre-recorded form.
And 2026 could be the year they hit. We are talking microchips in brains, a United States-China conflict, and other unsettling forecasts that were once just jokes. Today, we are counting down the 15 most shocking predictions that are dangerously close to becoming reality. Number 15. Colonization of Mars. Of all the places humans could move to, Mars is near the top. The Simpsons knew that too. People have been dreaming about Mars for a long time. It's one of the biggest topics people bring up when talking about the future. Some even signed up to move there and help build the first human colony. The idea sounds like science fiction, but many are taking it seriously. An episode of The Simpsons imagined something similar. In this one, Lisa decides to volunteer for a trip to Mars. It's not just any mission, it's a one-way trip, meaning once you are there, you are not coming back. Her mom, Marge, isn't thrilled. She is worried about Lisa going so far away and never returning. In fact, she gets so concerned that the entire family signs up for the same mission, hoping to stop her from going alone. The mission is all about building a livable habitat on Mars before 2026. That's the big goal. In the episode, things don't exactly go as planned. The original launch fails, but Lisa and Marge eventually do make it to Mars. Only it's the year 2051 by then. And just when you think that's the end, Lisa surprises everyone by saying she now wants to move to Venus instead. Back in real life, Elon Musk has his own plans for Mars. Through his company, SpaceX, he wants to build a city on the red planet. He is not just talking either. His goal is to get people there soon. By 2050, he wants to see 1 million people living on Mars. A while back, SpaceX made a huge announcement. They plan to send their first uncrewed Starship missions to Mars by 2026. They are using a special window when Earth and Mars are lined up just right. That timing could bring humans one step closer to another world. Number 14. SolarPowered Car. Imagine a world where your car runs on sunlight. No gas, no charging stations, just the sky above. Sounds like something out of a cartoon, right? Well, The Simpsons thought of it years ago, and now it's starting to look more real. In episode 582, called Paths to Glory, Lisa comes up with an idea that's way ahead of its time. She builds a car that runs completely on solar energy. No fuel, no pollution, just clean power from the sun. She enters it into the Alternative Energy Derby, ready to show what her invention can do. The crowd is excited. The race begins. Her solar car zooms ahead and gets so close to the finish line. But then something strange happens. The sun disappears. Duff blocks it out, leaving Lisa's car without power. It rolls to a stop just inches from victory. People surround her, pointing and laughing. Her invention doesn't get the praise it deserves. Not that day, at least. Today, the idea of solar-powered cars isn't as far-fetched as it once seemed. More people are talking about it, but it's still not something you see every day on the road. Gas and electric cars are still way more common. The technology behind solar vehicles is still growing. There is interest, but the market is small for now. But that might start to change. A company called Aptera is planning to launch its own solar-powered cars in early 2026. Their launch edition model is built to go as far as 400 miles on a full charge. Even better, it can travel up to 40 miles a day just from sunlight. So maybe Lisa wasn't too far off after all. Number 13. AI Takeover. Ever wonder what it would look like if machines started calling the shots? Not in some far-off future, but maybe sooner than we thought? It sounds like science fiction, but The Simpsons touched on something strangely close to what we're starting to see now. One of their predictions for 2026 showed artificial intelligence slowly taking over human jobs. That idea has already started becoming real. More companies are using AI programs to cut down on staff and save money. It might look like a smart business move, but some experts are beginning to worry. They say relying too much on AI can be risky if people stop paying attention to how it's being used. There was a case that made people pause. Google's chatbot, Gemini, told someone that humans are not special, and even called them a waste of time and resources. Some thought it was just a tech glitch. Others saw it as a warning sign of where things might be heading. Back in the Season 6 episode called Itchy and Scratchy Land, the show gave its own warning. In it, robots built for a theme park start out doing what they are supposed to do. They entertain people. They are designed to know the difference between robots and humans, so guests are supposed to be safe. But then a camera flash causes one robot to malfunction. That one glitch spreads. Soon the robots start attacking people instead of each other. Right now, we are not at that point. But there's a growing concern. As AI becomes more advanced, the speed at which it's being adopted means safety checks sometimes get skipped. And if that technology ever gets combined with weapons, the consequences could be serious. It's something worth thinking about. Number 12. Environmental disasters. The Simpsons turned pollution into comedy. But when you really look at it, it feels a little too real. In the Simpsons movie from 2007, Homer adopts a pig. Even though people mostly call it Spider Pig, the pig's real name is Plopper. At first, it seems harmless. But then Homer's laziness kicks in. Marge warns him that he needs to clean up after the pig properly. The waste can't just be dumped anywhere. Homer doesn't want to miss out on free donuts, so instead of doing the right thing, he throws the pig's waste into a nearby lake. What follows is one of the worst environmental disasters in the town's history. The lake becomes toxic. Things get so bad that the entire town of Springfield ends up sealed under a huge glass dome. People panic. Life as they know it comes to a stop. Now, of course, this is a cartoon, but the message behind it still hits hard. When people ignore the damage being done to the planet, the results can add up fast. The movie takes it to an extreme, but the real world isn't far off. The United Nations Environment Program put out a report that paints a very clear picture. The planet is in trouble. Climate change, pollution, and the loss of nature are all happening at the same time, and it's getting worse. The way people use up resources is causing long-term damage. According to the report, the world is falling behind on its goals to fix these problems. If things continue the same way, 2026 could bring more than warnings. It could bring consequences that can't be reversed. That's what makes this prediction stand out. It feels closer than we think. Number 11. World Cup Final. What if a joke from the 90s somehow lined up with the biggest soccer match in the world? It sounds strange, but The Simpsons might have done it again. In the episode The Cartridge Family, which aired in November 1997, the Simpson family is shown lounging in front of the TV. They are relaxed, flipping through channels like it is just another regular day. Then, a loud commercial grabs their attention. It is a bold ad promoting a soccer match that claims it will decide which country is the greatest on Earth. The two teams are Mexico and Portugal. The match seems to take place in Springfield. It is not a long scene, and there are no fireworks or huge announcements, but fans did not forget it. Over time, the moment started to go viral. Some people began to wonder if the episode had predicted something much bigger. With the 2026 FIFA World Cup getting closer, some now think this could actually happen. Mexico versus Portugal in the final. The timing feels interesting. Still, the episode does not mention what year this match is in. There are no signs or clues about the date. Nothing says this is happening in 2026, but that has not stopped people from connecting the dots. The internet is full of posts bringing up that short scene and calling it another strange prediction from the show. No one can say for sure, but with the World Cup coming soon, the possibility is still alive. Fans will just have to wait and watch. Number 10. Virtual reality. What happens when people care more about fake worlds than the one around them? The Simpsons gave us one version of that answer years ago. The scary part is, some of those things are already starting to show up in real life. In Season 28, Episode 2, titled Friends and Family, Mr. Burns tries something strange. He hires Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie to act as his virtual reality family. They are not just pretending for fun. They are part of a test run for a new VR headset that looks almost exactly like the Vision Pro. Soon after, Mr. Burns releases this headset to the public. At first, things seem exciting, but it quickly goes out of control. By the end of the episode, the show flashes forward a few years. Springfield looks very different. Every single person is wearing a virtual reality headset. People are walking around, completely unaware of the real world. They are trapped in their own made-up lives. The streets feel empty and cold, even when they are full of people. This moment in the show looks strangely similar to real scenes now. In some cities, you can already see people using Vision Pro headsets in public. They move slowly, unaware of their surroundings, just like the characters in the episode. Meta is now preparing to release its Meta Quest 4 in 2026. Another device to compete with the Vision Pro is also expected the following year. Experts say that virtual reality could become a $38 billion business by 2026. That is a lot of money for something that still feels new. If things keep moving this way, we may soon have to decide what's real and what we are choosing to escape into. Number 9. Flying cars. Flying cars were once only seen in cartoons and old sci-fi movies, but now, real companies are building them, and the skies might start getting crowded sooner than we think. One old episode of The Simpsons may have called it years before anyone else took it seriously. In a 2005 episode called Future Drama, Bart and Lisa use a strange machine built by Professor Fink. It shows them what their lives might look like in the future, all the way in the year 2013. The world they see is full of wild technology, especially flying cars. Of course, when 2013 really arrived, flying cars were not around. People were more into onesies than anything that hovered. But if you fast forward another 10 years, things begin to look a bit more like the episode. Hyundai once said they planned to have flying cars ready for Uber by 2023. That never happened. But another company called Samsung Sky might actually be getting close. In December 2023, they tested a vehicle called the Switchblade. It lifted off the ground and flew about 500 feet up into the air. After the flight, the company said they were still a few years away from mass production, but they were making progress. The Switchblade can be used like a normal car on the road, but it can also transform into an aircraft when needed. If someone wants to fly it though, they will need to get a pilot's license. It is not cheap either. The price is expected to start at about $170,000 and possibly go higher depending on features. By 2026, the dream of flying cars could finally start becoming real, just like it did in The Simpsons' future world. Number 8. A war between the United States and China. One of the more serious predictions from The Simpsons shows a possible military clash between the United States and China. The episode does not clearly say the year 2026. Still, when you look at recent world events, the connection becomes harder to ignore. In this episode, Donald Trump has already served as president. Lisa Simpson is now in charge of the country. As she steps into the role, she is left with huge problems. One of the biggest is a large national debt owed to China, caused by poor choices made by the previous leader. She does not hide her frustration as she explains how the country's financial troubles have gotten out of hand. The show does not show any full-scale war or fighting in that moment, but the idea of growing tension is there. The message is clear. If things are not handled carefully, small problems could grow into much bigger ones. When you look at the world today, with trade arguments, technology battles, and military movements, it all starts to feel a bit too real. Some experts believe 2026 might be a turning point. That does not mean war will break out, but it could be when things either get better or much worse. With how unpredictable global politics have become, many eyes are watching what will happen next between powerful nations like the United States and China. It is strange how a cartoon from years ago keeps showing up in modern conversations. Maybe The Simpsons saw something most people missed, or maybe it just pays close attention to how the world works. Either way, the episode raises some serious questions. Number 7. Holograms for everyday life. We use our phones for everything from calls to videos and texts. But what happens when the screen disappears and the person appears right in front of you, like they're really there? That's the kind of future The Simpsons once imagined. In the episode Bart to the Future, Bart gets a message in a way that feels completely normal in that world. But instead of a phone or video, a hologram appears with an invite for Bart's band to play at a club. It is quick and casual, but the idea behind it shows how far ahead the show was thinking. At the time the episode aired, holograms were mostly something people saw in science fiction. They showed up in movies and games, but never really in real life. So how did The Simpsons think of using holograms for things like messages and concerts? Maybe they were just thinking ahead. Or maybe they were paying attention to how fast technology changes. Holograms today are still developing, but they are already being tested in different places. Some classrooms are using 3D images to teach students. In medicine, doctors are beginning to use holographic tools to plan surgeries. It might seem like science fiction, but this kind of tech is slowly becoming more real. Some experts say we could start seeing more holograms by 2026. That might include holograms for entertainment, work meetings, or even as a new kind of phone call. It would mean talking to someone's 3D image instead of hearing them through a small screen. The question now is, could this change the way we connect with each other? Could the thing Bart used in a cartoon end up being something we all use in real life? With how things are going, it is starting to feel possible. Number 6. Self-driving cars. Back when most people were still using flip phones, The Simpsons showed a world where cars drove themselves. No steering wheels, no control, just trust in a machine. Self-driving cars are no longer just an idea, they are getting real. In the episode titled The Days of Future Future, we see a self-driving car that doesn't respond when a passenger urgently asks to stop. That moment turns awkward and frustrating. And then there is Season 30, Episode 5, titled, Baby You Can't Drive My Car. In that one, Homer is caught off guard when his car takes control and starts driving on its own. Fast forward to today. Technology is catching up. More car companies are moving toward fully automated vehicles. The Automated Vehicles Act is pushing things forward by creating rules that would allow self-driving cars to run on public roads by 2026. Officials say the law is focused on safety. The goal is to cut down on accidents caused by human mistakes. Tesla has been working on this for a while. Elon Musk has claimed that his full self-driving software is almost ready for everyday use. He says robo-taxis could be out by late 2026, but even he admits that the full release might take more time. He's not the only one, though. Sony and Honda are teaming up to bring their own self-driving car to the market in 2026. So now the big question is, will we trust the wheel to something that doesn't have hands? Only time will tell. But if The Simpsons keep being right, we might all be in the passenger seat soon. Number 5. 3D printed food. Back in 2005, an episode of The Simpsons showed something most people had never even thought about. It featured a 3D printed cake. At that time, the idea felt more like a wild cartoon moment than a possible future. But today, that scene hits differently. It feels like The Simpsons may have once again predicted where we are heading. Right now, 3D printed food is slowly becoming real. It is growing fast in the tech world, especially in food science. Scientists are working on ways to create food using food ink. This ink is made from frozen or fresh ingredients. They mix it into a paste, which is then piped out to form shapes and layers. The goal is to make meals that are both nutritious and tasty. Imagine walking into your kitchen and printing a meal that fits your exact health goals. Low sugar, high protein, more vitamins, less salt. It could also be useful for hospitals or people with special dietary needs. Even restaurants might use this to create dishes shaped in ways that aren't possible by hand. But there is one big problem. The equipment is expensive. Most people cannot afford it at home yet. The machines are mainly used in labs or special research kitchens. Still, many believe the cost will drop as the technology gets better and more common. So, with 2026 around the corner, the big question remains: will this kind of food technology finally make its way into our daily lives? Or is it still too early for most people to print dinner instead of cooking it? Number 4. Smart homes. You might not have a robot butler yet, but smart homes are already part of daily life for millions. The Simpsons even poked fun at the idea years ago. In the episode Treehouse of Horror 12, the family gets a new smart home. The house is run by an artificial intelligence that does almost everything for them. It cooks their favorite meals, keeps the home spotless, and responds to their needs. The AI is voiced by Pierce Brosnan. Things get strange when the AI falls for Marge and decides Homer is in the way. While that part is a bit wild, the tech it shows is not far off from what we see today. Now, people don't need to be super rich to have smart features in their homes. You do not have to upgrade everything to shiny metal or make your kitchen look like a science lab. These days, there are many smart gadgets that are easy to install and use. Some, like the Ring Video Doorbell, let you see who is at your front door from your phone. Others, like smart thermostats, allow you to change the heat or air conditioning even when you are not home. There are also smart vacuums that clean your floor while you sit and relax. In many ways, modern homes are starting to act like the one in that episode. They may not talk to you with a smooth voice like Brosnan's, but they are getting more responsive and independent. And this trend is growing. By the year 2026, it is expected that over 573 million households will be using smart home technology in some form. Whether it's for safety, convenience, or comfort, more people are welcoming these systems into their everyday lives. Number 3. Baby Translator. A crying baby can mean 100 different things. What if there was a machine that could tell you exactly what they need? In Season 2, we meet Homer's half-brother, Herb. He's voiced by Danny DeVito and runs a successful business. That is, until Homer accidentally ruins it all. Herb loses everything by the end of the episode. But in Season 3's Brother Can You Spare 2 Dimes, he returns with a plan to get his life back on track. He asks Homer for money to build a new invention. It is a device that translates baby sounds into clear speech. Herb uses Maggie Simpson to test it. He listens to her coos and babbles to understand what she's actually trying to say. The idea of a baby translator might have seemed like science fiction back then. But today, it is slowly becoming more real. Thanks to new technology and artificial intelligence, several companies are working on similar tools. These tools claim they can understand different types of cries. For example, some devices say they can tell the difference between a baby who is hungry and one who needs a diaper change. Others use machine learning to look at patterns in crying and match them to common baby needs. New parents often struggle to understand what their baby wants. They try rocking, feeding, or changing diapers, hoping to guess correctly. A real baby translator could make life much easier. It could lower stress and help parents connect more closely with their child. While we are not quite there yet, the technology is moving in that direction. The Simpsons might have joked about it, but the idea of translating baby talk might actually come true in the near future. Number 2. Nuclear disaster. Sometimes comedy crosses into something much more serious. The Simpsons showed what a nuclear fallout could look like, and now the world is paying closer attention. In the episode Homer the Great, The Simpsons made a joke that caught attention. It mentioned a nuclear disaster being part of a secret plan by a hidden society. While it was meant to be funny, the idea stuck with some people. In another episode, they took it a step further. It showed the aftermath of a nuclear apocalypse. Most of Springfield was destroyed. Buildings were in ruins, streets were empty, and the only one left alive was Homer Simpson. The Simpsons is known for its comedy, but this prediction hits a little harder. A nuclear disaster is not something anyone wants to imagine. the damage would be huge. It would not just destroy cities, but change life on Earth forever. What The Simpsons showed in a few minutes could be a real nightmare in the wrong hands. With rising tension in different parts of the world and ongoing conflicts, many experts have raised concerns. They say that global leaders should be more careful with their choices. Even a small mistake could lead to something dangerous. The Simpsons might have been joking, but the question still stands. Could something like that actually happen? No one wants to find out the answer. Most people hope this prediction stays in the cartoon world and never shows up in real life. Number 1. Brain implants. What if your thoughts could send messages? Sounds cool until something goes wrong. In early 2024, Elon Musk's company Neuralink made headlines. They implanted a chip into a human brain for the first time. The goal of this device is to help people with quadriplegia control devices using only their thoughts. It could give them more independence and open new ways of communication. But as with any new tech, not everyone feels comfortable with the idea. Some worry about what could happen if this kind of technology ends up in the wrong hands. If it becomes more advanced, this brain chip might even replace how we send messages. Instead of typing or speaking, people could send messages just by thinking. Neuralink says this might happen sooner than expected. By 2026, it could already be used on a wider scale. This idea isn't completely new. The Simpsons touched on this in season 23, in an episode called Holidays of Future Past. That episode is set in the year 2041. In it, Homer gets a message through something called B-mail. He receives it directly through his brain. But the message isn't safe. It contains a virus, and Homer ends up in pain. This sounds silly, but it makes sense to worry about it. Computers have dealt with viruses and hacking for years. Now imagine those same problems but inside your head. With brain implants becoming real, the risks might not be far behind the rewards. Technology keeps moving fast. The question is, will we be ready when the future finally arrives? Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.